polynomial review. We're going to be working with polynomials in this lesson, and we'll start off with subtracting and adding polynomials and then multiplying them, simple polynomials. Alright, start with example 1. In example 1 we have two polynomials that we're going to subtract. Anytime we have subtraction, we're actually going to change it to an addition problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this subtraction and treat it like it's a -1, and I'm going to distribute it into the parentheses. Distribute it just like I would do anything else. So I'm going to take this -1 and multiply it by 5x cubed and get negative 5x cubed. -1 times 10x to the fourth is going to make it a minus 10x to the fourth. -1 times negative 6x makes it positive 6x or plus 6x. -1 times 14 makes it minus 14. Now I'm going to bring down the first polynomial, 7x to the fourth plus 11x squared minus x minus 8. And now all I'm going to do is combine like terms. So my first term, I have negative 7x to the fourth. A like term is going to be something else that has x to the fourth in it. So I have negative 10x to the fourth. So negative 7x to the fourth and negative 10x to the fourth make negative 17x to the fourth. Remember, you just keep the exponents the same. Alright, my second one is I have an x to the second. Do I have any x to the seconds to go with it? There are no other x to the seconds, so I'll just write it as plus 11x to the second. My next one is going to be, I'm going to do this negative x, and 6x goes with negative x. So I'm going to add those together, and negative x plus 6x would make positive 5x. That's negative 1x plus 6x makes positive 5x. Then I'm going to go with, I'm going to do the next one with the variable in it, so negative 5x to the cubed. There's nothing that goes with that one, so I'm just going to put negative 5x cubed. And then the last part is, I'm going to take, I've run out of colors, so I'm going to negative 8, negative 14. Those don't have variables in them, so I'm just going to combine those together and get negative 22. So there's my polynomials added together. Now typically we put these in descending order, which means by the exponent. So I'm going to look at the highest exponent, that's to the fourth. So I'm going to write that one first. The next highest exponent is that one, negative 5x to the third. Then 11x to the second. Then 5x. And then minus 22. And that is my simplified polynomial that I've actually subtracted but turned it into addition and combined the like terms. Okay? Now I want you to go to example number 2. This one's just an addition problem, and see if you can work it. Pause the video. When you get it finished, turn the video back on and we'll go through the answer. Okay, when I work this one, notice that the negative x and the positive x will cancel each other out, and then you'll just combine the like terms. Remember, when you're adding, you keep the exponents the same. They have to have the same base and exponent to combine them, and I just add those. The coefficients, leave the base and the exponent alone. Okay? Alright, let's work on to example 3. Example 3 is a multiplication problem. Alright, now we're going to do something a little different with this one. With multiplication, we're going to treat this like area. Alright? This is like my length. This is like my width. When I multiply them together, that's going to give me my area. Alright, so length times width is area. So I'm going to think of this as a box. So I'm going to put my box here. And the way I multiply it is, I'm going to put the terms for the first binomial across the top, 7x minus 3. And then the second binomial I'm going to put down the side, 8x plus 5. Now I'm going to separate this 2 rows, 2 columns. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the rows and columns. So I'm going to multiply this row by this column, or this row by this column. So 7x times 8x gives me 56. Remember, x times x is x squared. To get this box, I do the row by the column. 8x times negative 3 is negative 24x. Now, I want to get this row, or this box, so I'm going to do this row times this column. So 7x times 5 is 35x. And to get this box, I'm going to do negative 3 times 5 and get negative 15. And now all I do is combine like terms. So if you'll notice, I've got 56x squared. There's no other x squareds, so I just write that one down. 56x squared. Alright, and then I've got negative 24x and 35x. Those are like terms, so I can combine them together. So negative 24 plus 35 would be positive 11x. And then my last part is I have minus 15. Nothing to go with that, so I'm just going to put my minus 15. And there is the area generated by the factors, or multiplying 7x minus 3 times 8x plus 5. Some of you might have done this using FOIL, which is just the same thing. I multiplied 7 times 8x and got the 56x squared. That's the first. The outside would be 7x times 5, which gives me the 35x. The inside, negative 3 times 8x gives me negative 24x. And the last 3 times the 5 gives me the negative 15. So it's the same thing as doing FOIL, if that's what way you learn to do this. Okay? Alright, I want you to try example number 4 on your own. Alright? Now this one's going to be, I'll help you set this up. Alright? This one's going to be, I'm going to put 5x plus 4 on the side, and across the top I'm going to put x squared minus 3x plus 2, and draw my box. Divide it into 2 since there's 2 terms there, and 3 since there's 3 terms this way. Okay? Alright, so take a moment and finish this one for me. Okay, go ahead and check your answers. Notice that we ended up with 4 terms in our answer from the 6 boxes. Our like terms came from the diagonals, if you'll notice that. That's something to notice about when you work through these, okay? Alright, if you have any questions, go back and work through the video. Make sure that you bring questions with you to class. The first part of your notes asked you to complete some information, and that website was on your notes. It's also here again, so if you didn't do that, make sure you go and check that on that website. In Sophia, you should be able to just click on it there, okay? And the last thing we'll ask you to do is complete your WISC for this. Alright? Have a great evening.